Hello, and welcome to Mesquite Living Waters Fellowship's Wednesday's Word Series. We invite you now to sit back, relax, and enjoy today's message.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Wednesday's Word here at Living Waters Fellowship. I'm Morehead, for those of you who don't know me. And before I get started on my sermonette, we're only about 2 weeks out from Christmas. And from all of us, to all of you, no matter where you are in this world, God bless you and Merry Christmas to you and your families. Be at peace. This morning's sermonette is going to be on wisdom. And if you talk to my wife, I don't have a whole lot of that, but I found a lot of scriptures that I think would be beneficial to us. Wisdom is something we don't normally think much about as growing up as a child. As a child, wisdom is often thought of as sound advice. Often as a child, we challenge this advice of others until proven truthful. I can still hear Mama saying, "Don't touch that cookie, it's hot." My mind racing because I want the cookie right from the oven. I reach for it and voila, fingers burned and Mama was right. As a child, we haven't learned to discern and separate wisdom from advice. These two words are very close but not always the same. Thus, the question we must ask of ourselves, is this information to be found as true or false, and do we accept this as being sound? The dictionary defines them as the following. Advice is guidance or recommendations offered with regard to prudent future actions. Mom said, "Don't touch that cookie, it's hot." The action, I touch the cookie, my fingers get burned. Good advice, Mom, and I still do it. The cookies are good, and look, they're burned. Wisdom. Webster's dictionary defines wisdom as the ability to discern inner qualities, insight, good sense, and judgment in relationships. As is many times the case, our English language grasps only a small picture in the definition of words. Because of my love for Jesus as my Messiah and Lord, I will often refer to the Hebrew and Greek translations for definitions that I am seeking. The Hebrew definition of advice is this: consultation and advice with counsel. The Greek definition for the word advice also means to counsel. Wisdom from the Hebrew language, and forgive me for those of you who are Jewish, I'm not even going to try, is the biblical Hebrew word rendered as wisdom. Its meaning is both divine and human. So why did this old man bore you with all this stuff about definitions of these two words? Do you think that there's truly a difference? And is it really important to understand the difference? The answer to these questions is a solid yes. Each of us has a desire to be perceived as being wise when we are looked at and listened to by others. We want others to perceive our words as having value and be respected. There are qualities found in wisdom that we must recognize. Individuals having wisdom are usually people of fewer words. These same individuals are slow to anger and wise enough to recognize when someone's attempting to bait them into an argument. Generally, but not always, these individuals are experienced and knowledgeable in their field of study and work. Usually these are people one would go to obtain sound information. These people are trusted and respected by many. Yes, usually found to be older and more mature. However, like King David in the Holy Bible, they can be younger too. As the old adage says, out of the mouth of babes comes wisdom. Sadly, wisdom, like common sense, doesn't grow in everybody's garden. Advice is freely given, but is not always necessarily worth listening to. Bad advice can be very dangerous for children and adults alike. How many times have we read in a paper or watched on the news that someone has done something mind-bogglingly stupid? We sit and wonder, how in the world did that individual ever think that they could not get hurt or killed? It's sad. It's also unnecessary. We must be mature enough to discern when the advice we are given is sound and trustworthy, or or if it is full of holes, leaving room for doubt. In the beginning of this, I started this conversation as with a child's perception of his mother's advice. And like all children, I challenged this advice only to find that my mother was telling me the truth. And yes, I burned my fingers, and that's an important lesson. Wisdom starts when we are children. We may not seek wisdom, but we are learning to understand the value of good advice. We take these tidbits of information and store them for future reference, calling upon them as needed. There are qualities each of us must search for when seeking to find wisdom. We understand that wisdom isn't something that we just one day go out to the store and buy and put into a box and becoming the all-knowing guru of a fairy tale. Wisdom, like a fine wine, comes with aging in the right ingredients, taking it in over time. And like a fine wine, it is something we should all seek. Our Holy Bible is filled with words of wisdom. God's holy word also gives us direction and instruction on how to obtain wisdom. Proverbs 4, 6, 7, do not forsake wisdom, and she will protect you. Love her, and she will watch over you. Wisdom is supreme, therefore get wisdom. Though it costs you all you have, get understanding. Proverbs 1, 7, fear of the Lord is the foundation of true knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and discipline. Proverbs 10:19, when words are many, sin is not absent, but he who holds his tongue is wise. And Proverbs 13:10, pride only breeds quarrels, but wisdom is found in those who take advice. According to Wikipedia, the word wisdom is mentioned 222 times in the Hebrew Bible. Many verses, both Old and New Testament, make mention of the importance of finding wisdom. Many times in our lives we will make mistakes following our own heart's desires. Bad choices often lead us down a path, never allowing us to become better individuals. I had an old friend, and truly he was a wise old man. I dearly loved this man, and he held him in great respect and esteem. This man was my pastor. I watched over him for many years as he brought forth God's holy word. I watched as many would come to him for his counsel, and this included city officials. The pastor was soft-spoken, a man of few words, and slow to anger, and slow to speak. When he gave advice, he would back it up with scriptures and with personal experience. One of his favorite verses to quote was from Matthew 6:33. But seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. Want wisdom? Find Jesus Christ, and allow him to walk this path with you in your life. Wisdom will follow. Now, in conclusion, is it true or false? If you seek God as spoken in the scriptures, you will find wisdom, and the advice will be true and sound. If you think of yourself as wise and having wisdom without God, you're a fool. The words you speak will be found as being fruitless and failing. Others will soon run from you, and you will not be respected. It is my hope that in this somewhat lengthy sermon, with too many words, you will find wisdom and direction. Go now and seek God with all your heart, understanding, and wisdom will follow. God bless you, and thank you for listening.